Quick, pick the winner of the 20XX North American LCS. Who's it gonna be? TSM! Obviously the easiest blind pick forever of all time for the North American LCS champion, just based on their numbers, their pedigree, their winning mentality, their history of winning. They're the winningest team in North American LCS history. They have a pedigree of success similar to other great organizations in other sports, New England Patriots, for example. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady over the past 10 years have created this winning formula, this idea that victory is the only thing that we are going to work towards. Being the best team is the only thing that we are focused on. Winning this one game versus this one insignificant team is important towards our goal, but it isn't the crutch on which our goal relies on. So we might lose our star quarterback for 4 games of the year, and we might lose all 4 of those games, but it doesn't matter because we'll finish the year 12-4 and then win the Super Bowl anyways. That's obviously not exactly what happened, but it's that type of winning mentality. So players are going into the game and they believe in themselves and their teammates that they have what it takes and they are prepared to win. They've done everything they can and they've worked hard enough, done enough, and are good enough to come out ahead. And that belief in themselves and the players around them, I believe, gives TSM that pedigree of victory that other teams are searching for, especially Liquid, for example. Liquid have been searching for TSM's winning formula, straight up. Liquid puts in an insane amount of capital, especially this year, into their roster to try and secure the best role players for their position. I think they came very close. TSM might have done a little, TSM and Team Liquid are the 2 teams who are fighting for those top rosters. The rosters that have the best players in them. The rosters that have the players in them who are going to win lane almost every single game. The players who are going to outperform their counterparts almost every single time. And then translate those winning lanes, those winning advantages into match wins, into game wins, into season wins, into split wins, and then hopefully into international wins when the time comes. But TSM themselves, 2 returning members, Hanser and Bjergsen, 2 solo laners. I think that's really important for this team to build around this type of core. Obviously, Bjergsen has been the core of TSM since he came over from EU, but now this addition of Hanser, right, the stable, strong top laner, native North American top laner, who performed very well last year, again, when the top lane had a massive import boom from last season. We had Flame, Someday, who else came in? Zig came in, Impact was there still, Ray came over. We had a lot of really strong imported top laners last year, and Hanser really stood out as one of those native North Americans, along with Darshan, who could stand up and contest the Korean import position that has now become dominated in top lane. Or at least it was last year. Mike Young in the jungle has to be the biggest question mark for this team. He's coming in not as a rookie, played on P1 last year, and had a explosive season. Everything P1 seemed to gain or lose in the early game was around Mr. Mike Young and his actions in the jungle, which is very normal for a jungler, but in a way that he would either make the play and put his team vastly ahead, or he would be the one getting the play made on him and then P1 would be set behind in the early game and wouldn't have really the shot calling macro to kind of make up those losses in the mid to late game and come back. And that's what makes really great macro teams, right? The ability to be at a deficit but play the map better, move in a more strategic way to defend while also garnering avenues of advantage based on the opponent's mistakes or missteps or lacks of vision, etc. So I think Mike Young in the early game will be super fine on TSM. He's going to have 3 winning lanes almost every single game. As a jungler, there's very few things that feel better than 3 winning lanes every single game. Bjerg will not lose lane. Jensen might put him down 5 CS. Ooh, you got him. But, the lane prio will be just about there. The roaming will be just about there. And then the mid to late game team fighting Bjergsen will just be Bjergsen and God mode everything, as always. Hauntzer, again, he's not going to lose lane. Even if you stick him on the Maokai tank, he will just sit under tower, split farm, and all will be good. Okay, I expect Sven and Mithy to be the duo lane of Destiny again. Right back from the OG Niels Mithy days. They've been a dominant force. They've been a dominant duo on that bottom side of the map in any region, almost any international tournament they've played in. They have looked like some of the best players in their position. I don't necessarily expect the same type of dominance that Sven and Mithy enjoyed in Europe on G2 with the way that the bot laners are going to be tested this season in North America. I think there are a lot of strong bottom lanes. Sven and Mithy is definitely one of them. They have incredible pedigree, great built-in synergy too. These guys have been playing together for like 3 years now, I think, 2015 origin. 3+ years now, right? Like, that is some deep synergy and understanding between the players, to the point where I could see them laning and honestly not even having to say a word to each other anymore, just because they've done it so many times, they've been in these positions so many times, that they know what the other player's thinking as that player is thinking it, right? Like, the Alistar knows that the combo or whatever is just outside the range, so if he flashes, whatever, they can kill. That type of thing gets to the point with bottom lanes like these where Mithy doesn't need to say, okay, flash combo, go. It's just, we're going. It's just, let's get this kill. Don't waste time. Don't waste comm space. So we talked about their bottom lane being really strong, having a lot of built-in synergy, but maybe not necessarily enjoying the same type of dominance or having the same ability to exert their will over other bottom lanes. They will still be able to crush some bottom lanes, don't get me wrong, but I think in North America this spring, we have a lot of cohesive bottom lanes who can work together, mitigate losses, or mitigate leads that the other team might be garnering against them. So, for example, just off the top of my head, we have Sven and Mithy, Double Lift Ole, Sneaky Smoothie, Styx A Bio, Apollo Hakuho. That's 5 right there. We've already listed half of the league's teams, and all of those bottom lanes are able to be competent, in my opinion, against the Sven Mithy duo. Where I think the Sven Mithy duo levels up even further than where they are, though, is outside of lane. Mithy, great roamer, great shot caller, real great brain for the game. And then Sven is just a god. Like, late game carry, god. Please don't give him Sivir. Please don't give him Tristana. Please don't give him Twitch. Please don't give him Caitlyn. Please don't give him a late game carry. Please don't give him an early game carry. Just put him on Ziggs or something. Jeez, man. Like, the dude is too good. That's their early, mid, and late game guarantee too, in that bottom lane. Obviously, the weakness everyone's going to point to is Mike Young, right? But he has 4 vets surrounding him. I think this is the Mike Young development show for this split. I'm really scared to see where he can become, like what type of player he can become for summer. I think having these 4 brains around him is, and then Song as coach, is going to be very, very, very scary for his development. I could see him becoming a bit of a ward bot in the first few weeks, but I hope that he is given the liberty to take his lease in. Maybe a Rengar game if he wants. Maybe a Nocturne game. Who knows? Best of ones though. It's going to make these spicy picks less prevalent, unfortunately, this year, which is good and bad. I think we're going to see less variance. You're going to have the Maokai Ornn top lane. Less, Fioras, less Rivens, because there's less margin for error. You can't lose the first game and then win the next 2 and win the series. You lose the first game, you've lost. You're 0-1. It's done. And that's really unfortunate in a game like League, but obviously makes so much sense in terms of a spectator sport, building the brand, building the game, trying to get all of your franchise teams airtime. Back to TSM. Back to the TSM. As the team transitions its early game leads into mid game barons, objectives, and then into late victories, I see this team having very few issues in terms of options, right? Some teams have one player making the decision, making the kind of brain decision for the whole team. And that can be kind of limited, right? If one player only sees one play, the other 4 players don't have a voice, then they're going for that one play because that's the only play they see. Whereas I see on this team, you have 4 players who are able to talk about the game. 5 even. Mike Young on the desk, very competent, well-spoken, great job. However, his mid and late game shot calling has been a bit suspect in past, on P1, I will say. So I'm looking for Hanser, Bjerg, and Mithy to really mold this team throughout its mid to late game through navigating, Vision, Waters, Baron, Dragon, trades, tower trades, Vision trades, and then hopefully Mike Young learns from this and it just becomes, an autopilot god. Season 8 summer with Bjerg and Hanser. Oh man, it's honestly not even fair, right? You have 3 winning lanes every single game. Maybe bot doesn't win. That may be the only qualm I might have with this. Maybe bot doesn't win every game. Sneaky smoothie. It's pretty potent. It's a pretty potent lane matchup. It's going to be very interesting. But I think this team's mid-late game is like no other. Really, really strong. It's going to be a really hard team to beat past 25 minutes. If you can even beat them in lane. You try and exploit Mike Young. That has to be it, right? You're not going to push Hanser off the tower. Just play Shen. He'll play Maokai. Bjerg, he's a Bjerger king. Mid lane is his kingdom. And then Sven and Mithy. Just stable, consistent, strong. If you're a TSM fan, you're laughing going into this year again. When aren't you laughing, though? You guys are always in first. Come on, give someone else a chance. And Team Liquid are looking to try and take that spot away. Try and maybe shake things up in the LCS. New king. But for spring, I don't think so. I think we're going to have tried and true. The faith shall be rewarded for TSM fans once again. You're welcome.